What we witnessed in Madrid wasn't just a final. It was a statement. A brutal, one-sided, almost shocking reminder of how quickly power can shift at the very top of men's tennis. Because when Jannik Sinner stepped onto that court against Alexander Zverev, this wasn't supposed to be a mismatch. It was supposed to be a battle. Instead, it turned into a demolition. And honestly, the scoreboard says it all. 6-1, 6-2. In a Masters 1000 final. Let that sink in for a second. From the very first game, something felt off. Zverev looked tense, hesitant, almost unsure of himself. On the other side, Sinner was calm, sharp, and completely in control. Every rally felt like it was being dictated by him. Every shot had purpose. And before fans could even settle into their seats, the match was already slipping away from the German. Now here's where things get even more interesting. This wasn't just about one match. This result has completely reshaped the conversation around the ATP rankings. Because right now, Sinner isn't just winning, he's pulling away. With 13,350 ranking points, he's sitting comfortably at world number 1. Right behind him is Carlos Alcaraz with 12,960. That gap is already significant. But what's really creating shockwaves is what's happening behind them. Zverev, still ranked number 3, is sitting on just 5,255 points. Yes, you heard that right. The gap between Zverev and the top 2 isn't just big. It's massive. In fact, it's so wide that he's actually closer to world number 4, Novak Djokovic, who has 4,710 points, than he is to Sinner or Alcaraz. And that changes everything about how we look at the current era. Because for a long time we talked about a top tier of players. A group competing closely at the top. But right now, it feels like there's a clear separation. A new hierarchy is forming. And Sinner is leading it. What makes this even more dramatic is the situation with Alcaraz. The Spaniard, who was expected to challenge Sinner neck and neck, is suddenly facing a major setback. A wrist injury has forced him to withdraw from both the Italian Open and the French Open. And that's not just any withdrawal. These are tournaments where he was defending massive points. Rome and Roland Garros, 2 huge titles from last season. So while Alcaraz remains second for now, the reality is that his ranking is about to take a hit. And that opens the door even wider for Sinner to extend his lead and truly dominate the rankings. But let's go back to Zverev for a moment, because his situation might be the most concerning of all. After the match, he did something that many players struggle to do in moments like this. He owned it. Standing in front of the crowd at the Caja Magica, he apologized. Not for losing, but for how he lost. He knew the fans expected a fight, contest, something worthy of a final. Instead, they got a performance that even he couldn't defend. And later, in his press conference, he didn't hold back either. He criticized his own level, admitted he was far below his best, and made it clear that this wasn't acceptable for someone aiming to compete at the top. Now here's the deeper issue. This wasn't just a bad day. This has become a pattern. Zverev now trails Sinner 4-10 in their head-to-head. But what's even more telling is that he has lost their last 9 meetings. 9 in a row. That's not a rivalry anymore. That's dominance. And when one player consistently has the mental and tactical edge over another, it starts to show in moments like this. Big finals. Big stages. Big pressure. Sinner isn't just beating Zverev. He's outplaying him in every department. Movement, shot selection, composure, aggression. It's all there. And that raises a serious question. Can Zverev actually close this gap? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a new era where he's no longer part of the very top conversation? Because let's be honest, rankings don't lie. They reflect consistency. They reflect performance over time. And right now, the numbers are telling a very clear story. Sinner and Alcaraz are operating on a different level. Even when Alcaraz is injured, even when he's not playing, his points total still keeps him far ahead of Zverev. That shows just how dominant these two have been over the past year. And then there's Djokovic. Even without playing regularly, even after stepping back from the tour, he's still within touching distance of Zverev. That's remarkable. And also a little worrying if you're in Zverev's camp. Because it means the pressure is coming from both directions. from above and below. Now let's talk about Sinner again, because what he's doing right now deserves serious attention. This isn't just about winning matches. It's about how he's winning them. Clinical, efficient, and almost ruthless. There's a level of maturity in his game that we didn't consistently see before. He's making smarter decisions, managing points better, and staying mentally locked in from start to finish. That's what separates good players from great ones. And right now, Sinner looks like a player who knows exactly how to control matches at the highest level. The scary part? He's not showing signs of slowing down. With Alcaraz sidelined for key tournaments, the door is wide open for Sinner to build an even bigger lead. And if he does that, we might be looking at a period of dominance that defines this season. But tennis is never that simple. Injuries, form, confidence, everything can change quickly. And we've seen that time and time again. For Zverev, the road ahead is clear, but not easy. He needs answers, not just technically but mentally, because beating players outside the top two isn't enough anymore. If he wants to truly compete for the biggest titles, he has to find a way to challenge Sinner and Alcaraz again. And right now, that gap feels bigger than ever. So as we move toward Rome and Roland Garros, the big question is this: can anyone stop Sinner? Will Alcaraz return strong enough to reclaim his position? Can Djokovic make one more push? Or will Zverev find a way to bounce back and prove that this result was just a bad day? Because if Madrid showed us anything, it's that the balance at the top is shifting. And the player leading that shift is Jannik Sinner. Now I want to hear from you. Is Sinner already the most dominant player on tour right now? Or do you think this story is far from over? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep tennis analysis right here on Tennis Desk.